Today I thought why not share my thoughts on why I like Black Adam and a few of the things I liked about the movie and why you guys should watch it in that part. But he warned that this will be spoilers, so we're going to be going all in on the movie and I'll be giving my thoughts and a lot of the things, so let's get into it. So Black Adam, it's more than just a movie that talks about a villain, it also talks about someone else, about their origin, and a few other things. Not just the fact that Black Adam's son was the original champion, but also the fact that Black Adam has shoes to fill, not just because the son died and everything else for him, but because of the vision, what was going to come for him, pretty much. Black Adam is a very good, decent story that takes place with a man who doesn't want to be a hero versus a man who pretty much just mourns because of his son and pretty much adapts to a new world that isn't his own. The world he woke up in is a different conduct and everything else. Not to mention, it's people want to be free, of course, because of some, I don't know, weird Black Ops people. Definitely not Call of Duty. But it's so fun because it talks about just a man who also pretty much has been asked to just basically get help him. Be a hero, even though the hero they want is not him, but the man has shoes to fill. Another thing, though, is that it also talks about saying the evilness about stuff that people don't know about Black Adam. For starters, let's throw it to what we said earlier. He's not the original champion. His son is. And that is a thing that I was never going to see coming in the movie. It is so cool that we get to see two perspectives of two different Black Adams. For starters, his son, a man who pretty much just wants to be free, wants to bring his people free and everything else. And also the fact that the son just wants to pretty much make things better for not just his family, but also for other people. Freedom. The stuff that I guess some people can relate to some honor society where some people pretty much want freedom as well. And I basically have to fight for freedom in order to achieve that goal. Which is something I really do like that much part of the movie. And pretty much sets to pretty much quote unquote hits the heart pretty much. Honestly, the son dies, but in order to protect the father, pretty much, because spoiler alert, Mama dies. That hurts, honestly. He gives the power to his son, Teth Adam, which is basically known as now Black Adam. Yeah, he gets the power of Shazam and all that part. Never thought I'd get to hear Black Adam say Shazam, honestly, but hey, we've come a long way. We get to now hear the man say Shazam. Death Adam's son gives him the powers, but of course, obviously, his son gets assassinated by a group of people with bow and arrows, and of course, Death Adam pretty much gets his revenge, destroys the king, and of course, destroys the entire palace. Gotta say, classic revenge right there. Move forward to the future, he wakes up, basically beats a bunch of bad guys, and it's pretty interesting. Because it's also the same bad guys who pretty much is causing the city to not be free, pretty much trying to get all the weird shit and all that away with their quote unquote control of the city. All that for a weird crown that has demons. Am I right? What's more interesting though is we get to see other heroes. Quote, meet the Justice Society. This team's a little different. It doesn't have most of the ones you might expect. We have Hawkman, played by my favorite actor, quote unquote Swagman right here, does a good job on leverage. We got Dr. Fate, a very nice, decent designed version of him. He doesn't have the eyeballs until later on in the movie. Man. We get two new rookies, honestly, I can't even say her name. I'm just kidding, guys. Her name is Cyclone. I just wanted to put the joke in. She makes tornadoes. And then we get Atom Smasher, the nephew version, not the original. But I think that the fact that it's pretty much passed on through family, that's what I do like about it, especially since the design looks pretty cool. Of course, people are going to make memes of him still, considering his mask still resembles Deadpool pretty much. Take that, Warner. What's so exciting is that we get to see the heroes battle it out. Obviously, Hawkman does a good fighting skills here and there. Really, it's just fighting for patrol and shit. And of course, we get to see some returning faces like Amanda Waller, but only as basically, quote unquote, or asks him to take Black Adam in, considering they're still thinking he's more of a bad guy, which he's more of an anti-hero. He does kill people, but he also fights and everything else. He does have a heart, considering that basically if he was pretty much rescued by a mother and a child, and they just want freedom and shit. And the man just lost his mother and child. And the funny part is that they're both played by two the same actors for the flashback scene of Death Adam's family and the family who pretty much freed him, pretty much. It's pretty interesting. I like that. It's like pretty much like almost like an after image, like an s, like pretty much like, hey, I lost family too. We can mourn a little bit, but we can also do some good. I really do like that. It gives it more character, and we get to see a side that usually people don't let Black Adam see through. We get to see Black Adam doing some good, which is something that not much people show on, pretty much, especially on animated movies and shit and TV shows. So I'm very glad we get to see this version of Black Adam, pretty much more anti-hero than anything else. You could say Injustice 2 did something like that, but she was still evil in Injustice 2 in the story mode. So anti-hero, yes, but more villain nonetheless. Another thing I did like is that Kondak's design. Old Kondak, okay, looks pretty decent its time. Modern Kondak, it looks bigger and everything else is more different. And of course, it's more of a story of Black Adam adapting to something in modern society of what is here and what is not, obviously. None of his relatives is in the modern timeline. And if they were, they'll be dead already. Well, another thing is that we get to see a statue of basically Black Adam's son. People think that it's him, Black Adam, but it's really not. It's Black Adam's son, which is very interesting. And of course, people don't know about the side of the story. And it's how pretty much Black Adam tells them everything and all that part, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. Hey, my son died so that I can live, but I also exact revenge. And I pretty much took out the king and everything in the palace. Flashback to future modern time. The ancestor of the person, the king, finds the crown, becomes their evil version of a champion, and it goes to a battle, which I think is pretty cool. A little satanic, as some people would say, good design. I mean, man, it's a movie. As long as it's not real, I guess it's all that matters. Cool zombies, though. But zombies versus people wanting freedom. I think that's pretty cool. Organization gets yeeted by Black Adam for the sake of freedom for conduct. Okay, check. Obviously, not everybody likes Black Adam in terms of the Justice Society having to intervene. Obviously, it was more of against hero versus anti-hero, but it was also a hero versus another hero who does things that other heroes do not. Black Adam kills. Black Adam destroys things and does everything above normal good guy privilege. Good guys don't usually kill people. Black Adam does. And I think that's also an interesting story, considering that we get to see that version of what a hero and anti-hero does through the differences and was defined by them. I think that's pretty cool of what DC did with that. That's big check mark right there. Now comes a few other things. For starters, R.I.P. to Dr. Fate. I was not expecting that at all. They really teased the fact that Hawkman was gonna die, but what they were just playing him off, basically doing a magic trick with the helmet. But I never thought you could do that, considering that they always treated Dr. Fate, whereas if you put the helmet on, you're possessed and you're fucked. You can never take the helmet off unless they let you do it, pretty much. And that's what they always treated Dr. Fate. With this Dr. Fate, you still have the powers. You can still take them off. You can still be possessed, but it's still you. That is a very, very odd workaround for this version of Dr. Fate. Especially since this Dr. Fate can predict most of the future, which is very odd. He's more Doctor Strange, basically. He's a more upfront Doctor Strange, minus the fact that he didn't fuck up the multiverse. So, you know what? You get a point, Dr. Fate, because you're not Doctor Strange. He fucked up one thing, you did not. And as for the last part of the video, I know I didn't talk about everything on the movie. I know, I'm sorry. The last part is the pretty much the Henry Cavill Superman versus Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Black Adam character versus match. Obviously, we're not gonna get the match. I mean, it's kind of obvious why, but it really is interesting how we get post-credit scenes these days from DC, and yet no one does shit about them. Quote unquote, enter the post-credit scene that doesn't get anywhere list. Thank you. Whoever puts it up, pretty much thank you. So yeah, we get a little quote from Miss Amanda Waller saying, threatening, pretty much the old-fashioned threatening. If you don't stay in contact, you're gonna get yeeted. Obviously, Black Adam challenges her. Quote unquote, no one on Earth can basically beat me. Which, technically, he's not wrong, but she did send an alien from her place that is not on Earth technically. So really, Superman has a bigger edge, obviously, but it's pretty interesting how we have a magic user versus a Kryptonian now. And the fun part is that we're never going to see it happen because of the new universe that's going to be given soon, the RIP DCEU. Which kind of sucks because I feel like now that DC is kind of getting shaping up now, it means that this is going to be the end of the DCEU. We have 2 more movies left, plus an extra of possibility of season 2 of quote-unquote Peacemaker, and that's going to be it for the DCU. Then it's going to be a DCU, which makes no sense, but it's going to be rebooted universe, so basically, get ready for leaving the DCU and entering a different phase. But without further ado, guys, that is going to be it for Black Adam. Black Adam is definitely a good movie you should watch. If you haven't already, even though I did say spoiler warning. Again, why are you watching this if you haven't watched a movie? Bruh. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down what was your favorite part of the movie, and I will see you guys later. Peace.